it's Jennifer from Belladonna's Botanicals here, and I want to talk today about something I've been working on. So I realized in my videos I've gotten away from talking a lot about, working with, the dark goddesses and demons and infernals and things like that. And I'm trying to get back into doing videos more regularly. I say that a lot. I said that a lot last year, and I said it a lot earlier this year. I'm going to try to stick to it. But what I wanted to talk about is kind of what I've been working on personally on a spiritual level. And I think it's something that would be beneficial to a lot of people. I'm just in the beginning stages of fleshing it out, but what I've basically been doing in a roundabout way is I'm pathworking myself, as if, a lot of people talk about pathworking, especially on the left-hand path, of working with a particular entity, whether you're pathworking with Lucifer or pathworking a particular pantheon or the goetic demons or whatever. But what I'm working on here, so yeah, I've been working on pathworking myself, and that's involved a lot of self-work, a lot of shadow work, and inner explorations. And I think it's something that is absolutely crucial, especially if you work on the darker magics, especially if you're working in demonolatry or on the left-hand path. It's easy to get lost. It's easy to be consumed by the darkness. It's easy to end up out of balance. And I talk about this, I probably mentioned a dozen videos, is finding the balance between the light and the dark is very important, because, being able to do energy work or self-care or stuff like that, grounding and centering after rituals, before energy work, before anything, is really important. And it's very easy to get out of balance, and it's very easy to fall down rabbit holes and get sucked into things that you question later on, whether it's the influence of another person, or it's viewing yourself in a way. We talk a lot about, especially on the left-hand path, there's a lot about the sort of self-deification and ascension, apotheosis, becoming your own God self, and things of that nature. And before you do that, because you're going to fall on your ass and fail miserably if you try that without doing the shadow work and self work that needs to be done. And I'm not just talking about, get a therapist and on some medication. I'm talking about the really deep inner workings. Yeah, that's going to not end good. Because I've seen things, and I'm someone, and I've been very open about my struggles with mental health and things of that nature and trauma. And you need to have a good grasp on that stuff. You need to be grounded and rooted firmly in your sense of self, in your physical body, in your emotional body, in your mental body, and in your spiritual body, because they are all connected. Your spiritual body is connected to the trauma body, to the body that is this physical manifestation of us. And I know it's wonderful to kind of think about, in the ego state of, elevating beyond, humanity and beyond, the humanness of our bodies and things like that, and ascending to higher level of intelligence and spiritual practice sounds great and lofty, if not a little bit egotistic. If you haven't done the self-work and shadow work, it's not gonna work. I mean, I've seen people, like seriously, you just look at me like, yeah, we've got issues. I have no problems, with people, there's a lot of drug and alcohol use and abuse, and stuff like that I see on spiritual paths and whatnot. And well, I will firmly admit drugs can help enhance your spiritual experience. I recently, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I recently completed my first round of medical ketamine treatments for treatment-resistant depression. And while it really works well for that and the kind of self-work and self-discovery that I'm doing, there's also a spiritual component to it as well, and opening those sort of neural pathways for making new connections. And it basically kind of makes your neuroplasticity malleable in a way that you're open and accepting to change, new ideas, making new connections, things of that nature. So what am I talking about here in Pathworking Yourself? I don't know how this is all gonna play out. I was thinking about it this morning, like how I would frame this if this was something I wanted to really kind of, have here's how, like a how-to guide on Pathworking Yourself. And in a lot of ways, I think that this is going to sound probably a little like you're like, huh? Or a little cheesy, is that I think building on the model of like the 12-step programs, but kind of taking the addiction out of it, but doing the self-work that comes from doing a program like that, I think is something that something I am incorporating into this Pathworking Myself. I'm also deeply working on a lot of shadow work and self-exploration. The ketamine treatments helped with that, so that's an exploration. I'm also going to start. I will be 100%. I am always honest and transparent. While I make a shit ton of flying ointments, I have not used them that much lately, like in the past year. And I want to get back into that exploration of doing that again, and really using that to kind of, again, help the entheogenic herbs, like in to a lesser extent of the what like a ketamine experience would be like, open up those sort of pathways and make sort of spiritual connections a lot easier. I know I've talked about this many times and what people expect, from flying ointments and stuff. I'm like, no, it's not. You're not going to have an ayahuasca trip. You're not going to trip balls, etc. It's just going to help open those things up to you and make you more receptive to things. And yes, you might be able to, really fall into deep meditation, astral travel, stuff like that. But no, you're not going to trip balls. I'm sorry. Can't legally sell things that are going to make you trip balls. Anyways, that aside, but I have been working on I know there's just to kind of pivot, like more on the, love and light kind of movement. There's a lot of talk of self-love and self-care. And I realized that for years, I'm like, I have great self-care habits. The missing component was I just didn't have any self-love. Like it was bad. Like all the self-care in the world cannot make up for a lack of love towards yourself. So it's learning to love yourself and to be more selfish. Because I realized that one of the things that has permeated many aspects of my life for decades is that I'm a very selfless person to a fault. And I've gotten royally fucked because of that. I've gotten hurt. I've gotten traumatized. I have gotten used. I've gotten, fallen in, under the influence of other people. And what I needed, like the thing that looking back, I was telling my therapist this, I'm like, she's like, if I gave out gold stars, you get all the gold stars for today. Not to flex, but I'm awesome at therapy. Is that I didn't do a good enough job at standing up for myself in the past. And because I just let these things happen, I didn't think I was worth it. I didn't think, like, hey, this thing that you're doing is really fucked up. Stop. Or how dare you treat me this way? I deserve better. And it's very important to get to this point in your spiritual practices where you are one with yourself and you have worked through those dark shadows. You have worked through and you really know who you are as a person on all levels. You know your physical body, you know your emotional body, you know your mental and psychological body, and then your spiritual body, that ethereal part of you. And only then, when you connect all those parts and you do that work through pathworking yourself, through all the dark shadows and icky shit in your life and psyche, can you really consider that you can move towards self-deification, towards apotheosis, towards ascension, towards, becoming an embodiment of your God self. Because you can't. And I see so many people, and I'm sorry, not sorry, but I will never not laugh at, eye roll, and make fun of you if you come at me and are like, I am the one true Satan, Samael, Lucifer, whatever. I'm like, prove it. That to me is just religious delusional. You're no different than the person in the street shouting that they're Jesus. Why? It's sort of like, I remember this is probably about a year and a half ago, back in like 2021, I was talking with EA Quetting, and we were kind of joking. He's like, yeah, I had my consultation with my fifth one true Samael incarnation this week, that sort of thing. It's like, no one person is the one true, the only, the real, whatever. Insert deity name here. I'm sorry. Like that right there. I'm like, y'all need some therapy, and there is clearly a lack of shadow work and self work and understanding. You are beyond help, and if you're offended by this, good. I've got, there's a lot of great resources online for getting therapy and getting the help you need. That said, I do, however, believe that people can be have aspects or parts of, divinity or whatever, of a deity incarnated with them. Like, am I the one true Hecate? No. Could I have elements of Hecate incarnated within me? Sure. I'm open to that possibility. Am I going to walk around going, I am the one true Hecate? Woo! No, because that's fucking just. I'm deeply rooted in spiritual practices, energy work, metaphysical stuff, the occult sciences, and whatnot. And I call some bullshit on that. I'm sorry. If you think that you are the one true Satan, one true Lucifer, the only this, that, the other thing, get some fucking help. Because you're a fucking joke. Sorry, not sorry. And that may sound cruel and that may sound harsh, and you may come at me all butthurt. But, anyways, I stand by my convictions because I've done the work. I'm doing the work. The work is never done. The work is never fully complete. I am never going to be fully complete at working on myself and becoming a better version of myself and learning all the different ways that I can be the best version of myself every goddamn day. And if I have a day that's shitty, oh well, you know what? Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow is another day. If today I just want to lay in bed and binge watch shitty television shows, you know what? I'm allowed. I give myself permission to play stupid games on my iPad because it helps me relax. It calms my neurodivergent mind, and I learn and how to work within a brain that just doesn't function the way reality functions most of the time. I have to look at, I have a lot of sensory processing issues, and, as evidenced by my neighbor's yappy dog that spent 3 hours I'm like, my God, like, I love animals. Like, probably more than people on in ways. Like, I'm the person like, kill all the people you want in the movie, just don't touch the animals. Because that will be like, whatever. Anyways, I mean, I don't care if the dog has like rabies and is like eating your baby. I'm like, no, don't kill the dog. That sort of thing. But I was like, it's just, there's certain tonalities that are really hard for me to process. I also realized that I find a cappella very off-putting. As a side, I was watching. I'm in a process within my self-work of feeling this compulsive need to complete things. I am good at starting things and not finishing them, abandoning, even if it's just something simple. Like I've found myself, like, there were a lot of television shows I used to watch and then just like stopped watching like halfway through the series. I'm like, I'm gonna finish those. like, I feel like there's something in my mind that needs to just kind of, and maybe it's slightly autistic need to, like, click the, yes, this is done, check mark. It's off the to-do list. But also working through some of the courses I started and never finished. The myriad of books I'm halfway done reading, and things, because I feel this need to complete those things, to complete those phases of my life, because it's leaving something open that just needs to be closed. Be like, okay, I finished this, it's done, put it on the shelf. So, anyways, that's just a little bit about what I'm working on. If I've come up with anything more formal on this, I will definitely do some video updates. I will post more about it. Or, if I can get my shit together, I'll release a course on how to pathwork yourself. Um, that might be a stretch. That might be a stretch. Anyways, I'm Jennifer Vatsa. Thank you for supporting my channel. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. If you really like our content, become a member of our channel or a member of our Patreon. We have a lot of great benefits and perks for that. And see you on the flippy flop. Peace out.